Hey, what's we screw up everything. Cari amici sportivi, welcome to yet another Milan Weekly Podcast. StevieP here with Yann, and we're filling in for vacationing Vinny, who's competing
Yes.
with the Fante families for most vacations in the year. Yann, what's going on?
Oh, not much, man. I was just looking at my prep, and all of a sudden we're live. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect. So nice to be here. Obviously, filling in for Vinny, hardworking man. He needs the vacation. Happy to see that he's drinking some beers all over Europe. So yeah, we're here. Let's do it.
let's do it. Let's do it. Guys, what are we talking about, Yann? We're obviously talking about Milan
The,
Venezia.
the masterclass versus a Serie B squad. Let's go.
Let's go,
Uh,
let's go, let's go. And yes, what a fantastic intro by Sunny with the
awesome.
80s music that I feel like Miami Vice in Miami.
I know. I know. It throws me back to playing GTA 5 a few years ago. Remember that game? It
Yeah,
was like the
exactly.
same
And
vibe.
now my
Same vibe.
son's
Yeah.
playing GTA 6 and it's
Yeah.
fantastic. But let's get to the show. This is why the people are here, guys. Guys, you know we love coming up with fantastic thumbnails. Guys, 2 goals, 2 biscotti
Yes.
equals 4.
Yes.
Guys, this was the game, guys. It was 2 goals. It was two very, very, very weak penalties. And the 4-0 Milan against a very unconvincing Venezia. Well, let's go to the starting lineup there, Jan.
Yep.
Again, usual question that Vinny asked me is, what did you think when you saw this starting lineup?
Well, I mean, I think everyone's reaction was, I can't believe Emerson Royale's playing. I was happy to see Gabia get a start. Tomori was not convincing me after the first couple of games, really not impressed. Happy to see Rangers just a bit higher up in the field, and why not Tammy Abraham? I'm happy with that. So it's really just the Emerson Royale start, but like honestly, Steve, it's Venezia. Yeah, we didn't let in a goal. It's Venezia, though, guys. Like, I mean, so for this lineup, it was just Emerson Royale that stood out. What about you, Steve? What did you like or not like?
So for me, again, I didn't mind the starting lineup. I think everybody who had to play was slotted in. I like Reindeer's kind of behind this trio of attackers, where Tammy's more of a number 9. Pulisic is back on the right, Leao's on the left, and Reindeers can roam free, and I think he had a good game with Loftus-Cheek and Fofana behind him. Right, defensively, I didn't foresee Milan getting tested very much by Venezia, which they did not. If we go to the Sonny does a great job of putting us in the stat lines, and we're not here to read stat lines, but it was a very one-sided game. And for Milan, coming off some dismal performances at the beginning of the year, I think this is just what the doctor ordered.
Definitely.
But again, I can't sit here and say that I was convinced. Emerson Royale is seeming to be more and more of a problem. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's putting it lightly. Yeah.
Putting it lightly is more of a problem. Exactly. But yeah, I'm having trouble understanding if he even knows what position he needs to play. And, we've seen it multiple times with Calabria, who we had our problems with, and
Of course,
we
growing
wanted
pains.
growing pains, and we wanted to upgrade Calabria, but you actually spent money to bring in someone who right now seems to be worse than Calabria. This
Yeah.
has to be a fail on management. This has to be a fail on identifying talent to upgrade your starting squad, La Rosa.
Well, to balance your team, right? You have Leao and Teo on one side that are heavy relied upon. Last year, you go out, you got a guy like Pulisic that really thrived. You want to support that right side. Where did you go? You go get Emerson Royale. That now, here's my question to you: that 15 million, could they not have just paid Xerxes freaking agent that 15 million? Is this what they haggled over? They didn't want to pay the 15 million because they had to spend it on this signing. That's what bothers me about this team and the way that some people will defend every move because, but look, we're in the black, but look, we're doing well, but look, we're growing, but look, we're this. But then we spend 15 million on a doofus. Like, if we were actually going that way, I think they're more lucky to have gone that way with some players that they bought than they actually want to. Because a team that's using that type of philosophy to go out and spend little amounts on players is not taking a risk on Emerson Royale. So,
Yeah,
that's a
and
fail there.
and I agree with Fuji's and Funyun. We popped it up there.
But he
I
too
think
was not good defensively,
no, he's
guys.
not good
No.
defensively, but Jan, if we're bringing him back from Bologna, and your coach goes out on the limb and says, I believe in a solid maker, I want him to stay,
Mhm.
but then management a couple of days later flips him to Roma for Tammy Abraham, is management not convinced that Fonseca knows who is Da Milan and who is not Da Milan? And again, we have a Kalulu sighting, which is another big
I
hit.
guess. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, if we would have kept him, would have been for the right backside.
Okay, so can we agree here, people, that Salad Maker, Kalulu, and possibly Calabria are all better than
Steve, I would
Royal?
send Carlos, our friend Carlos Sardelli, to play right back at his age now. Not taking Carlos Sardelli from our teenage years. He would be better than Emerson Royale. Shout out to Carlo, Milan Club
Yeah.
member.
Guys, this is a major problem, and once I saw the swap for Tammy Abraham, again, I can't say that I was very excited with Tammy Abraham just because a little bit of inconsistency, also injury prone. We had the Xerxes talking
Well,
about.
I have to stop you there about the injury prone. It was really just that one bad injury at Roma. Because before that, at Chelsea and wherever else he played, he didn't miss many, many games. You had that
Yeah,
one terrible injury. So
so I
let's just,
misspoke. I
yeah,
misspoke there. Not injury prone. That big injury worries me
exactly, exactly. That
because
makes sense. Yeah.
we have Derek in there. We have a whole we have a slew of people in all the multiple chats, and we know what happens eventually after the knee if it's not taken care of properly, which I
Yeah.
think for him kind of was because he missed the whole season, didn't play anything, didn't play in
I
Europe.
think he did a good job in staying with Roma, that has probably a real medical team to cure that knee, then coming to Milan earlier. So I think we got him, and Milanello didn't have to get involved. So he should heal properly.
He should heal properly, and let's hope he stays healthy because he hasn't been bad. He
No,
hasn't been
no,
something that you say, oh, what did we do? A la Emerson Royale.
no, 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 no.
He's kind of actually been, you know, a similar type of nine that we've been used to for the past couple of years, which is let's that big tall striker who you could find up in the pitch, and you can also play him and he'll hold up for the
Exactly.
midfielders.
Backs
Like,
back.
this is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
My question is now to you, Jan, and to everybody else, is how do we involve Morata and Tammy Abraham together? There's a lot of forward stuff happening for three places.
That's a good point. I think they're gonna play different games. It's just they're not gonna play together, and I think this is the strategy I have to take because even Alvaro already injured. He played a bit. Now, granted, it's probably because he played a whole tournament and came back too early and was played at a moment where we didn't need to play him and he got hurt. But I wouldn't try and change any formation to have them play together. I think these two guys are going to do the best for us when they complement each other. And I'm not saying like we're anywhere close to Inter right now, but does anybody wonder how they're going to get everyone playing there? They get everybody playing. Yeah, granted, look, Lautaro's injured right now. But Turam always features. The other guys always feature. They have to make the most out of it, and you get more out of your subs. So I think it's good. I think it's good because it didn't cost us a transfer as much. Tammy Abraham either. We're paying his salary. So it's like it's a jolly at that point. So why not? I think he knows also coming in when you have a guy like Morata that plays in a similar role. I'm not guaranteed starts. He's not coming in there to try and tell Morata like you're going to bench now. I think they're going to work together. That's how it has to be.
Yeah,
What do you think?
yeah, it has to be, and well said. I totally agree with that. My worry is that we're going to focus on Morata and we're going to try to bring in Tammy Abraham into games where we need a goal, and it's just not going to be that type of goal. He seems like a guy who needs to play, who needs to be, who needs to be on the pitch quite often.
Mm-hmm.
Get used to playing with Leao and Pulisic, and our makeshift midfield, whoever Fonseca decides to choose week in and week out. That he's going to lose some of this luster that he's found right now, and Morata and him are two different type of strikers. Morata is almost more like that false nine, and I don't think we can play like that.
No, not yet. Not with the center back. We have one center back that I feel can be solid back there right now. We don't have the center backs to support the midfield to play that way. Absolutely. We can't do it.
Let's go to we're going to do tops and flops there, Yann. I think that's something that we enjoy because you can choose someone, a little bit out of the ordinary that we might agree, might not disagree. But I think we can just get it out of the way and save people's time. The flop is Emerson Royal.
Yeah. In a game where there shouldn't really be a flop, where it should be hard for you to say, these types of games are always like, oh, I feel bad picking someone for making one bad pass. This was his chance to, I'm not saying you have to score a goal, not saying you have to dribble 15 guys. I'm saying you just have to be present, make some nice plays, give yourself a little bit of something to win over the fans, and failed opportunity for him. So yeah, I agree with you there, Steve. The flop.
Once we get that flop out of the way, let's go to top. We had Fabio. Shout out to Fabio checking in from even him. And it seems like everybody on Coast to Coast and Milan Weekly Podcast are on vacation, except for me and Yann. Fabio checking in with top as Pulisic and flop as the rest of the Milan world, Emerson Royal. Who's your top?
I'm going to have to say, you know what, Theo, for just scoring the goal where he did, not looking as that he had too many croissants. I think, and I like the celebration he did with Leao, pointed them out. So, but I can't argue with Pulisic either. I just, I hope we see Theo back. I just, it wasn't nice the way he was playing at the beginning of the year. I don't know. So happy that he had a nice game. And yourself, Steve?
For me, I'm going to go with Johnny Reindeers. I think he was, again, was it the opponent? Maybe yes. But I think he was confident. I think he was distributing balls. Did, someone who was, claimed that position, that spot that he wants to play. I think Fonseca was watching the Netherlands over the past couple of days and saw that maybe we can shift this guy into more of an offensive role where, not known to score goals, but at least be around some offensive-minded players and not having to be someone who is a lumberjack like the other two, where they're recuperating balls and having to distribute them as well. I think Johnny Reindeers was good. Again, in a 4-0 win, someone like Pulisic, after coming off international duty and still putting in a performance like this, again, we're going to repeat it all show. It is against Venezia, and Venezia is one of my teams that I thought would not, unfortunately, stay up in Serie A, and they showed it, right? So I want to pick your brain about the subs. So the subs were interesting because one of them was from Milan Futuro, and
Hmm.
it's not Camarda, it's Zeroli. What
Yeah.
did you think about him and his time on the pitch?
I think he's one of our unsung bright young spots. Like he played a few games, I believe, under Pioli too, right? If I'm not wrong, he had a few starts, and I like him. I mean, I think there's potential there. Again, it's Venezia. It's a 4-0 lead. It's nice that he gets to trot out on the field with the boys. Um, I wasn't blown away by anything that he did.
Yeah, and it's a tough spot to come into, right? Like Liban saying Zeroli was all right. Like he's not gonna come in to a senior team
No.
and try to do something that's out of his tool belt, right? He's got to play with the tools that he has. For them, they want to see that he's mature enough to come up.
Yeah.
He's mature enough to slot in and get some minutes. But more than that, you're not going to see from these guys, especially live in Serie A, even though it's against a weaker opponent that Milan pretty much handled after half an hour.
Yeah, the
Uh,
game is done. The
yeah,
game is
and
done.
that's the thing a little bit that bothered me
Hmm.
is that after half an hour, it seems like the tone went down completely.
Big time.
We
Yeah.
kind of just like navigated the game, and I'm not saying Milan should have went out there or could have even gone out there and won 8-0. We didn't manufacture
Well,
anything after that. That's
but
that's
like
the thing that bothered me.
it's nowadays you have 5 changes. It's 4-0. You've had a shit start to your season. I would have expected at least one more goal. I'm not saying it had to be Zaroli or any of the subs, but it's just like, is everyone in there? Is like, I don't know. It just that you're absolutely right. After the 30-minute mark, I expected a bit more, and as a bit of a snooze fest the rest of the game. Maybe that's why the subs to me didn't like. I mean, it was fine. They did what they had to do. You know what I mean? You can't shit on them for that.
They did do what they had to do, and again, we see that this was a good argument for everybody who thinks Serie A has too many teams at 20
Yes.
and is really in dire need to reduce that from 20 to 18 and try to get back some of that. But for Zeroli, this was a type of game where if Milan Futuro do continue on the way that they're going in Serie C, they'll end up in Serie B where we need them,
Yeah.
and the constant talent and the constant competition will be the Venezias, will be
That's true.
the Como, will
Hmm.
be games that they should be playing in, and Spanish league and has been doing it for quite some time where they're actually playing men professionals constantly that's good enough for the program. We do just a terrible job of bringing up our youth, and we'll talk about later on in your busted Calcio tweets about selling
Oh
the
man, we're the
potential youth
worst.
that we that we pick up. But what do you think Milan could do better in introducing guys like Camarda, Zeroli? Fine, we're not going to find the Venezia all the time, right, Jan?
No,
So
no,
what
no,
else
no.
can we do?
Coppa Italia, definitely. The league would. It would be hard pressed for the league to actually stipulate some sort of rules for the big clubs in Coppa Italia. At least up until the semifinals, you have to play a certain number of youth products or Futuro products or under 21 products or something. They can work something out, but just use that for the big teams to showcase their younger talent. And you kind of even the playing field. You never know what can happen in those earlier rounds when you have some Serie A teams that are playing youth. So it could be interesting. Open it up to some possibilities from Serie B teams, maybe going to a bit further and stuff like that. So that could be interesting and get a way for the players to play more. And I think definitely any team that's out of the top 10, you should be having at least these kids on the bench at some point. With all the games that are being played, with all the international breaks and all this stuff that your guys are burnt, you should be focused on winning all those big games of the top 10, and there you can play your youth. If you're losing games like we did at the beginning, well, then what are you going to do? You're stuck, right?
Yeah, we're wasting chances to play these kids on there,
Exactly. We
and
have to, yeah.
the thing that another thing that just frustrates me is, we see the Emerson Royale and we go out there to pay 15 million for Emerson Royale, but we'll refuse to play someone that we have in our system. You're telling me, yeah, we have no right back that could play better than any of these guys?
Isn't Bartesaghi right back? The other kid there?
Bartesagi's right back. There's the
Jimenez? He plays
Jimenez
right
guy.
back
He
there.
plays left. I'm pretty sure we could play him on the right, and he's gonna look better than Emerson Royale, Jan.
Definitely. No, definitely these guys would look better. Zaroli, can't he also play right back, or am I mistaken? Or is he play possible center
Right
back?
now, the chat is going crazy and saying they can pretty much put anybody in there, and it's gonna be better than Emerson Royale.
Fabio Borini for Vinny. We're gonna
Fabio
bring back
Borini.
Fabio Borini to play right back.
So we do a lot of these, there's always Milan Weekly Podcast, Jan. There's always Coast to Coast on Wednesday. So you'll see
Mhm.
Fabio and Gio chime in probably after the Champions League on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Gio does dip into the Primavera from time to time. But what do these guys have to do if they really want to know when we're coming on?
They've got to like, subscribe on our YouTube page at Milan Weekly Pod. That's you're gonna get the notifications. So if you subscribe, smash that like button. You're gonna sign up for the notifications. Make sure that they're on. Don't be like an old man and turn off all your notifications because you don't want to get bugged by your friends. Turn them on, please. It helps. And tell your friends if you know they're Milanisti. Why not? Spread the word.
Absolutely. So we talked about Venezia. Let's go to Champions League football. We'll see that on Tuesday. We have Milan Liverpool at the San
Big game.
Siro.
Big
In a
game.
couple of chats with my friends, and I'll read you exactly what they said. Guys, these are guys that we watch soccer a lot. They've watched soccer with me. We watched together, and this is from Francis the Interisti. I have to confess. Yes, Inter is playing City, but is there a matchup that says more European Cup than Milan versus Liverpool? Is there one that says more than that?
Barcelona versus Bayern Munich or Barcelona Real Madrid, maybe, but
Yeah.
no, Liverpool Milan, at least for our generation, for the last 25 years, at least for our generation, I think that what Francis is saying is absolutely correct.
Yeah, you hit half of the other matchup that he put out there. Bayern versus Real was one
Mhm.
that he pointed out, but Milan and Liverpool, just because of all the matchups they've had, they're at the same amount of Champions Leagues. Or no, Liverpool is less than us.
Liverpool has one less than us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just wanted to remind all the Liverpool fans who
yeah,
chime in that you
yeah.
have one less than us,
One
and you stole one from us. So
Yes,
that's
off the
two less.
line, off the line. Duda, what was his
Off
name?
the line, Duda.
Yeah,
Dudek.
Dudek.
So we have this this matchup on Tuesday, and why I want to talk about this is because Liverpool saw what Milan did the first 2 weeks of the Serie A, and this week before their Champions League game, probably overlooked Nottingham Forest and lost 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. So now you're coming to the San Siro. What do you expect from this Liverpool team? And what kind of greeting will this Liverpool team get at the San Siro?
Well, if we go by the ticket sales, they're gonna get not much of a greeting because it looks like there's only 40,000 tickets that are sold for the game. Huh? There might be actually more Liverpool. I don't know. They're not doing very well with the ticket sales for the Champions League game. I think the prices are quite high. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a correspondence on the ground. I don't know. Is Vinny going to the game?
Vinny is going to the game. Vinny will be at the game. He's
Americano.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
at Milan Liverpool for the Champions League. So super excited for him. I don't understand it, Jan. It's beyond me.
So
we've talked about this before, Jan. For me, I cannot comprehend this, right? Because
it's as if the Montreal Canadiens or the Maple Leafs or the Cowboys were not sell out a playoff game, or
yes,
because that's what it is, right? Milan Liverpool is the equivalent of a of a professional playoff game in North American sports. Like, it's a game, it's an
It's a
event,
game. It's a game.
everyone's there.
It's like a Super Bowl,
Yeah,
a mini super. It's a
but
you know
with an
what?
actual football, not with hand egg.
NFC wild card game or AFC wild card
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's something that you'd want to go to. Uh, and again, we always say this, and I know the Europeans in the chat and the are not used to this. We play quite a pretty penny to go to
Oh yeah.
sporting events here in North America. I have friends who've dropped a lot of coin to go to football games, like you said, Dallas versus San Fran. I just spoke with a friend outside right now, going and see the Chargers and the Chiefs, and it cost them
Steve,
almost 400 Canadian.
there's people that go watch the Columbus Blue Jackets. They spend more money to watch one Blue Jackets game that's terrible than they would to watch most European football, premium football matches.
So Cardinale, and it's a good segue to my next question for you. Cardinale is known to be someone who is very astute at generating revenue and uh, very driven by the fan experience. What's his reaction to ticket sales now?
I'm pretty sure he's not happy. I mean, I don't know if you can really blame it. I mean, they raised the prices of those things, though, regardless of what we think, Steve, that, yeah, I would have paid anything to go there. Granted, they did them dirty. They raised some prices over there. So now Milano's not one of the poorer areas of Italy. People make a decent salary, very decent salary. It's expensive to live there. So you saw they sold out for Venezia. It's not that they don't want to go and support the team. They paid premium dollars for them to go watch Venezia. So I think it's just more out of like a fuck you in a sense. I think it's like that.
Is this
I
spite?
think it's
Jan?
spiteful. It's just the only way a person like that's going to understand. So Bayern's president had a good thing. He's like, we could raise our season tickets by like, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 a year. And we can make a few more $1 million. But he goes, that's nothing to it. What does that matter to us? We don't generate the most money from ticket sales. We generate it elsewhere, but that's a lot for a person, to raise their season tickets by 50, 60, 100 euros. That's a lot for the individual. So I think you have to, Milan is lucky they have a cash cow as far as a fan base. But if you go and you bleed the cow too much, you're not going to have anything to eat after. So I think it's a bit of a message to them. We'll see if they manage to, get up to 60,000 would be nice. But the last I saw was 40. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone in the chat can say, but last I saw, they had 40,000 tickets sold. Maybe there's been more in the last couple of days. Yeah.
It's going to take away from what Milan and San Siro means to the Champions League if it's not sold out. It's just not going to be the same. The tifo is not gonna reside with as many people. It's not something that anybody likes to see. So again, I know that I'm on the other side of the fence. I think that there's a course correction in European sports that's happening. Yeah. And it's something that's happened in North America quite a long time ago and continuing to happen now.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if people expect teams to spend their money, they need to make their money. And they're going to make it from ticket sales, and they're going to make it from people who want to go watch the game, but they also have to understand that there's a fan experience there. Sure. And before we get to the Fubo Serie A update, Yann, we need to talk about this. What's going on with the stadium?
Because I just saw today that they were building something as far as the zone that they want to build it in is oftenly frequented by the undesirables. So lots of drug use and lots of shady meetups. So now they're building like a perimeter fence around it because they started preliminary digging to, I guess, surveil the soil to see if it's feasible to build and all this stuff. So they're building this perimeter to not allow people in. So that was the latest headline I saw in Il Corriere. Does that mean anything is happening? I don't know. You, Steve, have you heard anything?
So I'm confused.
Okay.
Right? Because I constantly see the headline of Milan and Inter are not interested in fixing the San Siro.
No, and why would they?
And why would they? Exactly.
Terrible idea.
And my question is that we're focusing so much on the San Siro, which doesn't belong to either Milan
No,
or Inter. It
no.
belongs to Milan.
City, Comune. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that it's probably a pretty penny to run this thing. So you don't have that many options, right? Like, and this is a problem that Italy has because these stadiums are so old. You know, a lot of people say, yeah, but in the States we can tear this down, and you're not tearing this down. Like, it's not something that's coming down. That's the problem. And I saw someone, and again, again, traditional Steve doesn't write down who said what they said, so I can't even give the person credit, but he made up a really, really good point. He's like, you have a humongous piece of land that's right next to San Siro.
The Hippodrome, yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you build something next to it?
Mm-hmm.
And not only build something next to it, you could probably incorporate some of San Siro into this new something that you build next to San Siro, so that you're not either tearing it down or you're keeping it somewhat fashionable for the section of Milan that you're in, and you can keep the history of it. That sounds like a great idea, but we know that Italy is number one with red tape, so that's probably not going to work.
Well, if you keep the San Siro next to a new stadium, you're not only going to remember the history, it's going to fall in your head, because that's what's currently happening from the colonne on the side. The cement is falling off. That's why they have to put like the mesh around it. This thing is a death trap. When the people jump, there's different videos that show that things are not looking good. And I think, Steve, many moons ago, when Silvio Berlusconi was still the owner, and I think it was when Barbara was running things with Galliani, they had looked at getting something done on that land, and something with zoning or the owner or whatever, they didn't want to do it. And also all the people that live around the San Siro, they also vote against doing any of this kind of work because they don't want to have that kind of noise and dust and all that stuff. So yeah, in Italy, it takes forever to get it done. So I don't know. But we didn't. Sorry, you asked me a question earlier about what can Liverpool expect. What do you expect from Liverpool? Do you think they're going to bring it to us? They've been looking better than Milan. I mean, they definitely. Mohamed Salah last time he played us. Don't you remember that shot? He broke Mike's arm. So yeah. I'm wondering. Yeah,
I think Milan needs to be ultra ready for this. I don't think Milan is ultra ready for this.
No.
I think that this might end up being a loss for us. Not a beating. I think we're gonna take a defeat, and I'm saying this just on the basis of that. I don't think Fonseca has these guys ready. There is going to be a moment in this game, and I think the first 15-20 minutes are very key for Liverpool to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
One of the worst possible things for Milan is Liverpool coming back on their first counter attack and putting something behind Mike Maignan after 5 minutes. That's probably the worst case scenario, because it'll be all downhill from there.
That might happen, Steve. That might happen. If they come down the left side, that's happening. Oh, right side. Yeah.
If they don't, and Milan is going to have to do a little bit of navigating of that first 25 minutes as well, I think we'll see what type of game we'll get at the 25-minute mark. If it's still 0-0 at the 25-minute mark, and both have navigated, Milan, their emotions of X amount of people at San Siro, and Liverpool also managing their emotions with X amount of people at San Siro and realizing that they're playing in the Champions League, I think we're going to have a good game. I just don't think that Milan is clinical enough in the final third to get the result. I would take a tie, which I'm going against everything that I think about the Champions League. Yeah. I think the Champions League For you to be successful, you need to take care of your home pitch first,
Definitely.
and
Yep.
then worry about what you can get in terms of a result away. But I would take a 1-1 draw, a 0-0 draw, just because of this new format. Just because.
Mm, 0-0 draw. I don't think this defense is ready for 0-0. I think if anything, it's a 1-1,
That's true.
maybe a
That's true.
2-2, which will
Yeah,
give us.
that's true.
If we can get a 2-2 draw or 2-0 win or 2-1 win, if we could score two, I think that'll give us a lot of hype for the game against Inter.
Yeah.
0-0, oof. I don't go into that Inter game feeling very confident.
No,
No,
no, I don't.
we'll see. We'll see.
One last thing. I need to get this from you. It's been bothering me. We know that Venezia was a little bit of
Mm.
a trap game for Milan. I think they dealt with it pretty good at 4-0. Has Fonseca showed you anything out of this Venezia game that gives you confidence that he'll surpass the derby against Inter? Imagine I'm already passing Liverpool and going to the derby.
I think unfortunately there won't be an international break before the Inter game because it seems to me that because of the international break he changed where Rangers plays because he saw another coach use him in the proper position. So I think we'll only see moments of brilliance right now from Mr. Fonseca after an international break where some of his colleagues might point him in the right direction. So I no, that game to me was just like you get paid $2.5 million to float a roster of I don't know how many millions of dollars that you better beat Venezia. Thanks. Next game. So we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see. Jan, let's get to it. It's
Yep.
the Serie A update brought to you by Fubo TV. Guys, they're home for Serie A, English Premier League. They have a great resolution for you guys to watch. All you fancy guys like Vinny that have 16K TVs, you guys can watch in the highest quality. They have a very cool Italian audio that you can put
Yeah.
on for Serie A. They're showing all the games. They have some halftime stuff that they put together for you to kill that time between the two games, between the two halves. And guys, commentary is great. It's incisive. Really, I would tell you the truth if it was anything other. But guys, let's look at the match day 4. We got Torino Lecce, Jan.
Poof. Poof. Hey, but that coach for Torino has them grinding out some results though.
He has them grinding out results. It wasn't the best of games. I was able to catch a little bit of this one there. My Fanta Calcio was not nice. Zapata didn't do me any
Ah,
favors in this one. But, Torino at home, not getting 3 points against pesky Lecce.
yeah.
Uh, is kind of a little bit disappointing for the way they started the season, but let's move on, and they'll see what they can grind out in match day 5. But Cagliari Napoli, oof, the Napolitans are happy now, Jan.
Well, I don't know. I was watching this game. Cagliari was playing well. They could not finish, and then at some point it was only 1-0 Napoli. They couldn't finish, and then Napoli took over in the last 25 minutes or so, and they bagged a few goals. But honestly, the score is not indicative of how Cagliari played. They really put it to them, and Napoli power like good for them. They navigated the game. They suffered and won the game, but they're still not out of that weirdness that they were in last year. At some points, I don't know if you noticed, they couldn't make a pass. Conte was losing it. But they got it done. Lukaku's looking slimmer and better than ever under Conte. Yeah,
Let's see if it's gonna continue for Lukaku. I think KK is their machine. I think
for sure.
that's how they roll, the way KK rolls, and they were scared that they were gonna lose him because of an injury to possibly La Cavilla or Il
Mm,
Polpaccio with a useless friendly game that they had.
yep.
Uh, how important is it for Napoli to stay the course with this new regime of Conte and De Laurentiis past match day 10, Jan?
Oh, I think now that they've got everything settled in the mercato, I don't see anything. I mean, they continue playing like this. Conte is going to do his 2 years, probably, win something. I don't know if it's a Scudetto or a Coppa Italia or go. He's never gone deep in the Champions League, with any of his team. He did a Europa League final with Inter, so maybe he gets them to go there. But so far, look, different team than last year, and their signings are paying off. They're still playing Politano a bit too much, but their signings are paying off.
Monza Inter 1-1, Jan.
Is our future coach here, Alessandro Nesta? Is Nesta ball coming?
Yeah, and I don't know. I really don't know how to respond to that question. But Monza played them tough,
Yeah, yeah.
and yes, they were at home, and yes, Inter is the best team in Serie A. Let's face it.
They have some injuries, right? Their fans say they have
Yeah,
some injuries.
now they're starting to see a little bit of the injury bug.
Mhm.
Barella not playing, Lautaro now hurt, and these are guys who have played a lot of minutes, a lot of miles on these guys from last year.
Yeah.
It's gonna start catching up now. Inter, we're the Milan Weekly Podcast, right? So I'm not here to give Inter flowers
No,
at
no
all,
flowers for Inter, no.
but one that you cannot take away from them is how they've managed to secure depth in their squad and keep everybody happy.
Yeah, because their owner doesn't care about being in the black. That's the difference. Now, they've spent and they spend and they go and they get their guys. And because you're a winning team and you look good in Europe, you have an easier time convincing guys to come and sign. You close the deals. That's a
Deal.
project really viable, right?
Yeah.
What do we go tell players like when we're gonna go sell them? Hey, we're gonna get Morata, and then we don't have a right back, but wait, we're gonna get Tammy Abraham as a backup, and this guy Okafor, he's cool on the bench, and yeah, Leao's on this left, and he always plays. And what project are you selling? So this is why Inter gets to sign these guys. This is why good teams get to find those guys.
Speaking about closing deals, Parma did not close their deal against Udine, and Udine is in first place in the Scudetto race.
Well, good for
Right
them.
now.
Good for them. And their racist
This
fans.
was an interesting match. I think Tovan not being on my Fanta Calcio team because I had him last year and he got hurt. So this year, when I did not select him,
Oh, he
he's
has to break
scoring.
up. Yeah.
He's scoring and he's
Of
breaking
course.
out. I also think that Parma was a pain in the ass in this game as well.
Yeah, definitely. And these are two exciting teams to watch. I think they're going to give a lot of teams entertainment when you're watching them play. So I prefer. You see, these are teams that I like sticking around in Serie A. More so, no hate to Lecce. It's a beautiful area in Italy, but more so than teams like Lecce, and Venezia.
Jan, Lazio Verona 2-1 Lazio.
The coach wins against his former team. Huh? Look at that. The dollar store coach that they got is getting the result here. So I did not watch this game. I just saw the final score. It was a 2-1, right, for Lazio?
2-1, yes.
2-1, yeah. So was it a good? Like, how did Lazio play?
So this was a good game. I think Lazio at home was playing typical Lazio fashion.
Oh,
Jekyll
okay.
and Hyde in the same game. Verona, was tough, but I think Lazio turned a bit of that corner and was able to uh, fulfill the coach's wishes. I'm pretty sure there was some money. There was some money on the bulletin board.
Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. I don't know if they have the money to go spend on a party though. It's Lazio, so we have to see.
Como Bologna, 2-2. That's from Saturday. We're going in reverse, guys, because this is the way we do it.
So Bologna, man. You think they're thinking ahead of their Champions League game? That's a big thing for them this week, huh? That's
This was
huge.
dropped points against Como. I think
They're having a terrible start to the year.
Yeah, more so for Como than Bologna, if you could believe it.
That's true because they give it up late. So, but still, Bologna. I don't know, Joey. What's going on there, man? It's our Montreal owner over there. What's going on? Like, I don't know. It's Yeah. So maybe it's because their crest is so much like Milan. They have to have a bad start of the season just like us. But I don't know. I don't know. Not impressed. And Como.
Empoli Juve, Yann.
Ooh, man. Thiago Motta. So he put on that suit every day, every game. He just morphs a little bit closer to Massimiliano Allegri, don't you find? But I love this quote. He's like, in El Calcio in soccer, there's 11 players that attack, and then there's 11 players that defend. I'm like, yes, he is becoming Allegri every day. Juventini, you thought you were gone, but at the end of the year, Thiago Motta is going to rip off his mask and say, it's still me. It's Max. I've been here this whole time.
It's
So
Max.
I'm surprised Vlahovic didn't score because usually he scores against these small teams.
Yeah, Vlahovic was.
Nohovic to be found.
If I could translate it the best of my abilities, Motta said that he has to listen to his critics because he's getting critiqued now. It's no more honeymoon for Susan. She's a pretty pissed off. She's not scoring, my friend. She no score.
Right with the Bocconcini sales. Genoa Roma. Oh man. Oh man.
Yes.
Oh man, that was so close.
Yeah.
I felt bad for them. But
not really. I didn't feel
bad.
Not really. 1-1. Genoa gets a very late, extremely late tie. Look, again, I found the game was a bit vanilla, if you ask me. I didn't think anybody really did much. Even Roma's goal was kind of like, let's try to kick things, let's throw shit at the wall and see if it's going to stick, kind of stuff, because it wasn't really an action there. I didn't mind Genoa. I don't mind Gilardino's Genoa, and I think they're a third pesky team that's going to cause a lot of people a lot of problems.
Yes, and I'm always for these classic teams that they're one away from getting a star. Eh? They have 9 Scudetti, these guys. This Genoa has 9.
Yeah.
That would be nice one day. That'd be nice. But anyway, always a soft spot for a team like that. And Gilardino, another future Milan coach, possible. You have to start. Anyone's there. This is the week of insert name here replacing Fonseca.
Insert here replace Fonseca. True, that is the wordle of the day for sure. Who's going to replace Fonseca? We have Adriano, future presidente, the Ukrainian. I would assume he's Ukrainian. For Roma scored. Dovovic finally. He scored 900 goals for Giron in the Spanish Liga, also known as Man City Spanish.
It's 900 goals because of the conversion to Canadian, though. That's why, because he scored in euros.
Yeah, and we have another fantastic comment. We got to shout out our guy, Salchicha Maker, who got hurt, operated today, and it seems like he'll be out for quite some time. I think I read 3 months.
So we definitely won that deal. That's we won. We can just send it to Lupo. We win it right there. Last game over here. Did you watch this game? Atalanta Fiorentina.
This was a back and forth, big game, good game, always entertaining. Atalanta and Fiorentina. I'm having trouble remembering if I ever saw one of their games be boring. Unless it was really one-sided, and for the past couple of years, it usually tilted towards Atalanta. But this was a really fun game to watch. One of the types of games that you wish the schedule maker would be able to put in a slot where it will get the attention that it deserves.
Yeah.
It was on Saturday. If I'm not mistaken, it was the 2:30 game, 2:45 game, was it?
I believe, it was a game.
Guys, you could correct us.
No, we were Saturday. We were the 2:45.
We were the 2:45.
They were the noon game.
They were the noon game. So imagine, I wish they would be able to put these guys in a slot where they would be able to get the recognition they deserve. But so Atalanta, Fiorentina.
They'll be in the Champions League this week. So Atalanta goes into the Champions League game guns blazing. So that's good for them. And Fiorentina is going to be playing Europa League, right? Or is it Conference League? Conference League. So that's it. I mean, very good game. I'm liking these two teams. I always have high hopes for Fiorentina from the Batistuta days.
And then they just take you down.
Man, they're always like they just drop the ball. But and Atalanta too, it's fun to hate on them, but it's hard to hate on them, man. It's fun to watch them. They're playing well, and we'll see what they do this week.
Dancing Gasparini. That's all, folks, for the Fubo, brought to you by Fubo TV. Please, guys, subscribe to that fantastic app. Like we said, they're the home of Serie A. They're the home of the EPL. And guys, it's a streaming platform that gives you much, much more. If you're here in Canada, they have One Soccer. You'll be able to watch Canadian soccer.
Yep.
They also have a plethora. I'm using a very, very highly intelligent word of
Wow.
other sports and channels that you can choose from. Recording option. We get to record our Milan and watch them when we can.
Yeah.
And Fubo TV, guys. Fubo TV. Guys, it's that time of the night. We're ending it off. It's Busted Calcio tweet time. And Yann is here. No funky, funny voice note where he looks like he should be working at CJAD at 12 in the no, he's live with us here. It's Busted Calcio tweet talk with Yann. Yann, take us away.
All right, so Italian Football TV tweets Monza had Inter their second draw of the season, and our one of our favorite Napoletani, Daniel Bowen from Ohio, Scudetto, quote unquote, favorites. Guys, what is this obsession with North American Napoli fans that write down any publication that didn't put Napoli as the Scudetto favorite? And then throughout the whole season, whenever their favorite loses or ties a game or drops points, they have to point it out. Guys, I know you love Napoli. I love Milan. Do you think we're going to argue with the fact that the reigning champions who destroyed everybody are not going to be Scudetto favorites? Who have recently won it, who went to a Champions League. Come on. Like, what is this pettiness? Favorites. Daniel also used to not like Bonetti and Marco that would throw flowers to Inter but say nothing about Napoli. Oh, so slighted. The poor Napoletani. I don't know. This to me is busted. You, Stevie?
Guys, this is very busted, and that's Napolitan for you, Yann.
From Ohio. From Ohio.
From Ohio. What do they make a margarita pizza in Ohio? I don't know.
A deep dish. I don't know.
They're so annoying. They're so annoying.
It's just,
and we can be annoying as Milan fans, but no one, I think there's no one that beats Napoli fans from the States.
North America.
I don't think so.
Not North America.
North America. That's not North
because
America.
the ones from Italy are a blast, the ones to talk to. So it's that down there. Anyway, yeah, we go on to the next one. Oh my god, another one. FN at Siak01. So these were two videos side to side. Now, anyone that's been watching Calcio for at least the last 10 years, 15 years, you know how Antonio Conte is, right? He's a passionate man. He hugs everybody like, they're marrying his daughter. So this guy here posted an Aura video of Conte like hugging Cavastalia and like, oh yeah, so like happy after the win. And then this other one is Aurora, where Fonseca and Rafa Leao hug each other and seem to be happy about the win.
Aurora, il mondo di cose buone.
So, like, what is the point here? Are we gonna go down to comparing hugs now? Is this a new stat on whoscored.com? How many hugs did your coach give you after the game? And how vigorous was the hug? How much did Conte molest you? On a scale of 1 to 10, that's how good you are as a player. I get the fuck. So anyway, and you know what's even funnier, and I didn't keep it in the clip, is that below he's adding Dazen.it. I don't understand. Does Dazon have like a competition for the dumbest tweets of all time? Is that why he's entering his tweet? I have no idea what's going on.
Look, Yann, you said it. We have a problem with Napoli fans in North America. It's It's something of a very, almost like they have no self confidence. They won this scudetto and they became like that. You know, it's that kid who does that popular thing, but it just doesn't. The popularity just doesn't stick with him. Like it's an after school special that's really out of whack. And the problem is that they think that they're cool, but they're not cool because they tweet out stuff like this.
I don't get it.
This is just something that it's either you're getting a lot of traction on it because it's complete stupidity and rubbish, or you really believe it and we have an even serious problem.
Who knows? Maybe he never got a hug in his life, this person. We don't know their backstory. It's not
Or
fair of us to judge.
we're counting hugs.
And then this is busted because our team is freaking busted. Has nothing to do with the tweet. I just didn't find that many this week, but it's this guy Vasquez. I don't know. We signed him from what? Some Colombian team. We played in Colombia. We signed them. I
It's
think
a
it was
South
one of
American team, and we
Maldini,
brought him.
the Maldini, and what's it called? The other guy there, Masara. They went to pick him up over there.
Yeah,
When Ibiza at the party, they went to Medellin. They went to Colombia. So they picked him up. So this is another example of how busted our team is. They give this guy away basically. Now, granted, none of us would have thought anything of this player. He didn't seem to be on the radar. We had all these other guys in Primavera, Milan Futuro this year that are up and coming keepers. But doesn't he go out and have a game of his life, wins man of the match, and then we find out that Empoli can sign him for a mere 900,000, and there's no buyout clause for Milan. So meaning that this guy, we sent him there, obviously, not knowing that, like, obviously thinking he's never going to come back. Who cares, right? And even with that, with the Scaronia that Milan had, this kid managed to have a man of the match, and now he's probably going to get bought, and we're going to just get 900. Anyway, it just goes to show the incompetence in the way we manage our young players. Bresciani now is bothering me. I remember when we let go of him. Not to say that I was saying he should be playing first team minutes, but it's the same thing with this Vasquez guy. It's just repeated. I'm sure the next young guy we're going to let go of is also going to. We just don't seem to keep our youth, and then we go sign a guy like Emerson Royale. I don't get it.
So the frustrating part about this, and I didn't have a chance to look at them before, so I'm seeing them for the first time as well. What pisses me off is that, you know, the Chelseas of this world keep 7 goalers, right? And either don't even have to sell them or find a way to loan them out. And when they do sell them or buy them from other teams, a la Kepa, a la, you know, name your flavor of choice, they're able to get rid of them at a cost that either makes back their money or they make some sort of green profit from it. Right now, is it EPL financial or cap, whatever management, FIFA financial fair play management or cap management? Like,
I mean, it's
I don't know.
Their championship league has a better financial structure than Serie A, for crying out loud. Like, come on.
I know
Their Serie A B 8 years ahead of ours.
They're able, whether we want to believe it or not, you know, and they have the money, or apparently have the money, to spend $600 million or close to $1 billion and still suck. And I agree with Liban when they say that. But they're also able to, it's twofold. They're able to attract this young talent, a la Vasquez, keep him in there with the almost false promise that he will end up in a Chelsea shirt, possibly have 2 avenues to take. One, he becomes decent, where they either give him a shot or believe that they could sell him to take that money and buy the very expensive keeper that they want to buy, or they ruin his career. And we've seen this happen before, where a la Juve, they just keep on sucking up talent from Italy, never play it, and then sell them to Genoa for 4 times the price, right? So as much as we want to make fun of Juve, it seems like the other teams have this on. But Milan,
they know how to do it.
Yeah, but Milan just doesn't know how to do it yet. No. Like, you know, like if we go through that list, and I would love to do this. I would love to do really make a list of not the phantasmi, not the ghost that we passed, but the real guys, that we really lost on, like
Even a Matteo Darmian at this point has had a fruitful career, and we gave up on him so young. At like
we
it's
gave
just
up on it. And again, the timing has to like that's why the list is tricky, yeah, because the timing plays a big factor, right?
yeah.
If you're telling me 2005, 2006, you're letting go of young talent, well,
That
guys,
may, yeah.
we
Like when we
also
lost Aubameyang. Like when we lost
exactly.
Aubameyang, we had a team and a half.
Exactly. We're not able to give these young guys time because we have a star-studded list of players that's on the field and on the bench that any team would love to have even close to their starting lineup.
Yeah.
But it's the Bellanova, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make a mistake. It might be him, might not be him, but Bellanova, someone
Yeah.
who passed through
Villanova's
our,
one. Yeah.
you said the Brescianis of this world.
But think
It's gonna happen.
Vasquez, we kept him in a Primavera or off the sheet to go sign guys like go eat like Tatarusano. Okay, when it's that, but Sportiello. We got Mirante that became like you're telling me you're gonna put a 41-year-old guy instead of a guy that's starting for Empoli and like shutting out Juve. Like we have them, we don't play them. We go sign old geezers who get hurt because they're our age, Steve. We get hurt if we play at the soccer at that level.
Absolutely.
Gorkuf. Acerbi, I don't know. Acerbi had his alcohol problems and the whole surgery, so I don't know. Andrea, I think we got rid of him because he was not in the right headspace at that time. He kind of
Yeah, Davids is a bit of a problem.
Paqueta we gave up too early. I agree.
Paqueta, but it seems like he had an online gambling problem as well.
He would have been great with Tonali. Imagine how good that midfield would have been. Hanging out all the time, best of friends.
Yeah. Gorkuf, a little bit of a problem as well too.
Kevin Constant.
We thought he was the next. We thought Gorkuf was the next Zidane, and we ended
Hakim Mastur.
Hakim Mastur, Mesba, Constant. Guys, you're killing me.
Oh my god.
That's it for busted Calcio tweets, guys. We're 1 hour in. At this point, Vinny is trying to cut me off, but we have one last thing, and we can't forget our Patreons, guys. Thank you very much for all the support, guys. We have one question, and it comes from Fabio. So I'm going to read it out to you guys. Okay. Hello, fellas. On the Max Lombardia podcast, our friends Max and Gino were asked a question I want to ask you guys. If it came down to win one game, lose one game, which are you choosing, Liverpool or Inter? For Vinny, I say both, but I'd rather have a derby win to break that awful run of losses against Inter.
Definitely win against Inter. If I had to choose, definitely win against Inter. Yeah. You?
Look, I think we have to be a little bit intelligent here, and the road in the Champions League is very different now than it was before. So
That's true.
It's kind of like a league game. I don't want my 7-time champion Milan to lose against Liverpool.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So, and why I'm saying that is because I don't know what to expect in this Champions League because of this format. Because it's almost like a second league that we're playing in.
Mm-hmm.
The Derby della Madonnina is special, but we have to understand and manage our expectations on what we're walking into. We're walking into a very strong Inter team that has dominated, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'd love to know everybody else's opinion. I think they've beaten stronger Milan teams than this one in the past. Some of Pioli's Milan was stronger, minus Macias when we were playing with minus a player.
Mm-hmm.
But Vinny's in Italy, guys, and anything's possible. Let me tell you this much.
Well,
We had a poll that said, if they win against Liverpool, and then they win against Inter, should Vinny move to Italy?
Ah, definitely. I'm gonna go tell his boss at Videotron myself. Il retourne pas, là. Reste en Italie. Coupe sa ligne. Cut his line. He's staying. We're gonna force him to stay, no? If they win both games.
Absolutely. I told him, you're staying there.
We'll start a GoFundMe.
There.
We'll send him 200 euros a week.
Exactly.
We'll get donations. 200 euros a week. He can just eat focaccia. That's it. He's gonna.
Guys, that's it for us tonight. Honestly, super fun with Yann. I'm not the best in terms of guiding the show, but I did my best. Fabio came in the clutch because I was about to forget the Patreon question. So that's
Awesome.
big. We screwed up the beginning entrance.
I think it was great. I think it was our own twist on it. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was our own twist. Guys, I want to thank you guys all for chiming in. Thank you to everybody who sent in the questions, comments, busted Calcio tweets, active in the chat. Guys, it's really important. We're going to say it again. You need to subscribe, guys. You need to subscribe to our channel so that you know when the hell we're going on, guys. Very
And
important.
make sure those notifications are on. Just make sure they're on, and you'll get notified. And then you can just come join the Thunderdome over here in the chat.
Guys, grazie mille. I'm trying to find the outro. It's here.
Don't forget to tune in on Wednesday. That's right, Frank. Coast to Coast Wednesday. Gio is a special guest. It's true. Gio does have a very special guest. Very special guest. Hopefully, you'll be discussing a very good Champions League game with that guest, Gio. But tune in on Wednesday.
Guys, ovunque sempre.
Forza Milan.